Pat, I looked so hard to find a picture of you on your Facebook of you in your wrestling gear, and I couldn't find one.
Of which one? The
full singlet. You only have one of like an upper body cropped with like a sleeve on.
The gold singlet. I don't know if there is a picture. I know there's a video of that somewhere.
Well, then you can screenshot it if you watch it on YouTube on your phone.
My friend.
That's how I get a lot of my good pictures.
Took a video of me. That was like the first show you watched at OTW, and he took a video of me. Let's save it for the rolling.
Why, you're just gonna play an intro of us talking?
Yeah, you did it last week anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it worked.
I didn't say it didn't. You're saying it as if you can't now. Oh, no. Nobody talk. We don't do that. Did it last episode. What do you mean we don't do that? Hey, how many people enjoyed you singing? Other than me.
I think you're using the phrase enjoyed very loosely.
No, I'm not. I think you might be. I think you want them to like it, but I said enjoyed. I didn't ask how many people liked it.
Oh, okay.
How many people enjoyed it?
A lot of people enjoyed it.
I didn't like it.
Under that phrasing, a lot of people enjoyed it.
Yeah, yes. I didn't think it was entertaining music, but I enjoyed it.
I was entertained by the segment. I thought the singing itself, like, if I could just give you a couple critiques, you could like laugh a bit less.
Definitely,
like
you could do that. That's actually probably a general like podcasting tip. You laugh hard, which isn't a bad thing, but. I literally had to say to you in the last episode, Pat, slow down, you're laughing through it.
And when you're singing, like, you don't want to be chuckling so much because then we can't understand what you're singing.
No, nobody can be harmonious. We all have different laughs.
Yeah.
That's what my friend Jess said.
Really?
My friend Jess said you need to try harder next time. I said, that's not going to make a difference on the quality of singing.
Oh,
and
sure.
She said, no, I'm fully aware it's not going to make a difference on the quality of singing.
You're so focused on the quality, and we're just... Listen, art is subjective. So someone could think your voice is a voice of an angel, while the rest of us understand that it's shit.
Yeah.
However, if you giggle a lot less, then we'll be able to accept what's happening a little bit better.
And maybe those people who do like your voice will be able to, know that they like your voice because they can hear it. I mean, we'll do it again this week.
Yeah.
Totally noted. Thank you.
Wait, what was the other?
Simon Cowell and Randy Jackson.
I got us. I'm not going to give them any leeway. Let's start recording.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
I know what song we're singing today.
Sweet.
We're not singing again.
Oh, yeah, sure we are.
Shut the fuck up.
We're going to sing every episode. That's how we're wrapping up. I mean, you even gave your little break in the action, and you gave us all right, I'm about to be embarrassed. And then, embarrassment. It was great. I loved it.
You're welcome.
But I loved it so much, we can't get away from it.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want. Also, did you get any threats? Anybody knocking on your door with a knife or anything?
No threats this time.
Thank goodness.
We know why that is.
I think we shut that down. Prison rules. I'll start knocking on our cell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling
Take 19, please.
with Life. I am Patrick Ream, joined as always by Justin Pusser and Adam Chandler. Gentlemen, thank you both for joining me.
It took like 18 takes of him giggling.
He just giggles a lot.
Yeah, like a schoolgirl.
There it is.
I'm a very affable dude. I find you both very entertaining. I'm sorry. I'll stop finding you too entertaining.
No. The problem is, I don't think you realize how entertaining we find your singing when you're not laughing through it.
I'm sure the whole world.
We'll give it to the world today. We'll sing a little more later on.
It's true. You're notorious for just doing all that kind of stuff.
I love it. I'm very excited for him to sing later.
Yeah, I am too. Like, he's notorious for what?
Notorious for doing this kind of stuff.
Putting people on the spot, I think is what he's trying to say.
Okay.
Right? Am I wrong?
I mean, yes, but like unnecessarily putting people on the spot.
Whoa. Don't call what our fans ask for unnecessary.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They all asked for this.
Everyone wants to hear you sing except Jim.
All the fans that have not been interacting with us enough on social media all asked for this.
Yeah.
They may not have done it through words, but through their hearts.
We hear hearts.
That is borderline creepy, especially with the face you made when you said it.
I'm gonna have to start videoing these because he says that a lot, but I don't believe him.
Yeah.
All right. What are we here to talk about, Pat?
If we videotaped it, it would just be me giving a bunch of like Jim from The Office stares to the camera every time Pat would say something wild.
That's fair.
Like, I like soft serve, not Dippin' Dots or Ben & Jerry's.
My friend loved that. My friend loved the voice.
Which friend?
one of my coworkers.
Was it Lon?
Was it,
was-
Alex?
It was,
Mike?
it was
Jessica?
not Lon.
Your sister?
No, Jess had some stuff to say
Wait
about
a
the episode
second.
too.
Hold on, wait. We have to ask you something.
Oh
Adam, you want to take this one? Yeah, he's pulling it up now.
all about this. I'm
We've been
so glad you
in
reminded
touch
me.
with Patrick's mother,
Jesus.
Guys, Pat's mom contacted me.
and she
Not
is a
for the reasons
lovely
you
lady.
think, even though moms do love me. Because I'm like I'm that like tall drinking like milk chocolate that like you've always wanted to experiment with, but you like haven't been able to, and it's like, oh, he's 30 and jacked. Like I'm just that forbidden fruit, you know? So Patrick's mother, Denise, asks, Pat, tell us about the time the principal called your mom about kissing a girl in the first grade. Let's hear it.
It's from your own mother.
I know. I love you, Mom. Don't worry.
Hi, Denise.
One time in gym class when I was in first grade, yes, there was this lovely little girl named Kira, and I got caught kissing her multiple times in gym class, in like the back corner of gym class.
Okay. So what happened when the principal called mom?
The principal called my mom because he's like, "Yo, your son can't be out here like making out with girls." in
How did
first grade."
mom approach talking to you about this?
I don't remember. I was in first grade.
So did you even stop?
Well, I mean, I stopped. Like, I yelled at her.
Were you like traumatized? Were you like embarrassed?
Not really. But I also think
Pat's full on making with girls in first grade. What the fuck?
Wait, like, what happened in all the years since then? Like, what changed?
the cuteness died off. I hit puberty and I got stuck with this voice, and here we are.
Understood.
That story is not as engaging as I thought it was.
I thought you were gonna have more for us, but I do like that your mom just like reached out.
Yeah, I hope your mom reaches
Also,
back
she
out
said
and gives
very
more details.
very kind things about enjoying the podcast. We like that.
Yeah, it's one of the first things she's excited to talk about when I see her. I have dinner with her somewhat
Your
regularly.
sister is in. I don't think she knows what she's getting into.
Oh yes. For those of you that didn't see on Facebook, my sister has volunteered herself to take part in one of these recordings.
I mean,
Volunteer
I'm literally gonna pull up the list of comments she made and just break them down one by one by one, and like, I can get downright disrespectful at times.
Please don't.
So like, well, we'll see where this goes. I always return the energy I'm given. So like, you know, she already said, what did she call me? Unclean. She said I was wet and spitty, which if I call a woman wet and spitty, it's a lot different. So we're gonna address that. Yeah, it's not gonna be good for her, but she's welcome to walk right into the lines. Then let me tell you, Adam knows where this is gonna end. So like,
I was sorry. If I call a girl wet and spitty,
yes. I mean, all right, here we go.
like I'm just ready for the. What if I called you wet and spitty?
Oh, please don't.
So is she
How would you
implying
feel?
she's just not a spitter?
Can we not have this conversation about my sister?
We will be having this conversation with your sister on this podcast.
She's all excited. She thinks she's gonna come in here and join in on the bashing of me. And
She will.
She is.
She will. I'm very fair.
But we get like this is raw, man. This is raw shit.
Yeah.
We did a whole podcast about love and ended it about strip clubs.
Is there a part of prison rules that people don't understand? 'Cause
Yeah.
they can ask us and we'll explain them gladly, but I mean, all right.
well, I'm sorry there wasn't more to that story. That's straight what happened. I really don't remember
we
what my mom
learned
said
plenty.
to me afterwards.
Like you were making out with chicks in first grade. That's kind of weird.
Uh,
Well, they weren't like pets. He said he just kept going.
it's yeah, it's interesting because like I actually think there's always a genuine correlation to life events and like things like that. So like that's probably like not too long after your father passes away, right?
How old are you in first grade?
5, 6 years old.
It's a couple years after.
So like you just are seeing you're sometimes people do that. Like when my parents got divorced, I was steadfast on the search for a girlfriend. Didn't realize it then, but now when I think about it, I'm like, oh shit, man, like what the fuck was I doing? So I'm serious. Like, I'm not, when you really break it down, like, a lot of times life events line up with, like, your weird life changes. Like, he's right. Why as a 5-year-old were you fucking wanting to make out with girls? It's a little like, that doesn't just get randomly tossed into your head. No. It's interesting, think harder, man. There's always a reason.
I tried to block that out.
That's fine, man, but it's a personal thing that you can figure out yourself. And
wisest in the game.
Yeah, man. Wisest in the game right here.
That actually true. That is a very true moniker for Justin. But since we're on the topic of making out...
I'd also like to point out, I'm wearing a white t-shirt today. I haven't worn a white t-shirt in 10 years, probably. I wear black everywhere.
That's true. It is a little surprising.
I decided I needed a change today.
It's old school, man.
Yeah, man.
And not a Yankees hat, too.
Yeah, I'm wearing a Dodgers hat today, yeah. My Yankee hat got wrecked in the downpour the other day because my gutters have, like... At my apartment complex, they have like trees growing out of them. So like there was just a waterfall as I walked my house, and it like completely ruined the brim. Got to go get a new Yankee hat this week. So yeah, Dodgers hat today.
Oh, rest in peace, Yankees hat.
It'll be back.
No, I'm sure it will. Gentlemen, I brought you here today to talk about weddings because it's wedding season. But actually, I found out an interesting fact when you guys both walked in here, which is that we are a day removed from the day you both ended up proposing to your now wives.
Yeah, different years.
Yeah.
But Adam, a year ahead of me, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, how did you propose?
So the reason why I waited till the time I did was because Ashley's friend was coming up from Virginia, like her best friend, and I already contacted her best friend, like let her know what was happening. And then my friend Jared was with us, so we went to Six Flags.
Dave.
Yes.
Jared is Dave.
Jared is Dave. Dave is Jared. So we went to Six Flags. And I proposed by, where they do like the fireworks by like the lake and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I took her down there, awkwardly started like cutting a promo, and like awkwardly reached into my pocket, and then like dropped to a knee, and then she like immediately cried.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I chose that date, which was also my sister's birthday, so I got heat.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got heat for that.
Anissa or
Anissa. So, yeah. If it was Brianna wouldn't have given it.
I was going to say, Anissa's a little bit more hot-headed than Brianna.
Yeah.
I like Anissa, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you got heat from your sister for picking that day?
I mean, that's her birthday.
It's her
I
birthday.
understand. Now you're sharing... That day's no longer your day that year. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it from her side. I also get it from Adam's side. You probably wasn't thinking that way. Like,
I wasn't thinking that way. It was just the convenience of it because, like I said, her best friend was up. That's the day we were going to Six Flags. That's when I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Did you say anything to Anissa first?
Yeah, I think I let her know ahead of time.
Oh, then there shouldn't have been as much heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
But we're going to do it. Anyway, so yeah, that's how it happened.
Cool.
She cried. The whole cliche, like, didn't actually say yes yet because she was so overwhelmed with emotions. And then I was like, is that a yes? And she just shook her head, yeah, crying, put the ring on.
That's
Oh, that's cute. What about you, Justin? How did you end up proposing to Danielle?
So when I got the ring, I asked her grandma to come over because her grandma's really like big in her family. She's like a kind of the matriarch of the family, so to speak. And I had her grandma and her parents there. Asked them for permission. They were all super cool. And I told them then, and this is what I did. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to promise everyone's going to be around. I'm not going to promise anyone's going to be around. I'm just going to keep the ring in my pocket, and when the moment feels right, that's when I'm going to do it. And I carried it around for about 2 weeks. Like, there was times I was out with Danielle, and I had to, like, change, like, pockets because of where she was trying to hold my hand. Like, it was uncomfortable, but I was moving. And we finally settled.
On the fly.
Yeah, man. You never know when the right moment's going to be. And we ended up visiting my mom, and my mom lives an hour and a half away, so she doesn't see a lot of the stuff we get to do a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And we decided we want to take a ride to Cranberry Park, which is like where my grandparents used to take me and my brother when we were kids, just go like throw a baseball around, like play on the playground. Like, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years old. And so we got to the park, and Danielle and I were walking around, and we like went into a gazebo by the lake, and I kind of like organically was telling her about my grandparents and how they used to bring me here. And then as I realized I was in that moment, I was like, all right, man, start doing the proposal. And then I started rambling like a dumb fuck. And
It's inevitable, I think.
yeah, man, like I'm a pretty, like I can talk pretty well.
Yeah, you're both very well spoken.
Yeah, and like, I usually don't trip like that, and I was tripping. But I got down on the knee, and Danielle like high stepped and laughed and cried and all in one, like around, also didn't answer. Eventually she said yes, probably like 8 seconds in, And then my mom knew I was carrying the ring around. So she wasn't with us when we were in the gazebo. She had hung back at her car. And then when we were walking back to the car, my mom was like standing, like looking, trying to see Danielle's hand. She's like, did you do it? And I'm like, well, what if I didn't?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh, that's awful.
I mean, like, she didn't, like, you know, I think she knew. But, yeah, so I did it there. I did it at a park where my grandparents used to take us. And then we called everyone. And everyone was really cool except Brian. Brian asked me if I got her pregnant. That's very Brian.
That sounds right.
It's a Brian move.
On brand. Very on brand.
So that was my proposal. But we had a long engagement, too. We were engaged for probably, like, 2 years. Like, how long? You guys engaged long?
I think a year.
Yeah. Ours was about 2.5. It was at least 2. It was about 2 and change, like 2 1/4, 2 1/3, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people always just skip the wedding, but I kind of want to know if you had any pitfalls on the way, because there's a lot that goes into planning a wedding. There's a lot that goes into preparing for it. And I was just curious if you guys had experienced any like real difficulties or like just inconveniences that were stupid along the way.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any? Because I don't.
Yeah, I don't have any specifics. I think everyone goes through that with planning a wedding. I do remember looking at places to have it, and one of the first places we went was, I think, Lucian's Manor in Berlin.
Yeah.
And it was super out of our price range, and they fucking knew it. Because we left and we were like, yeah, that guy kind of knew, like, we couldn't afford it. And then we looked into Adelphia's, and for a Friday night, it was like right in our price range, and what they had to offer, the package, the food was incredible. So we ended up going with that. And it ended up, like, when we talk about the actual wedding later, it actually turned out way better than we ever expected. Like, we saw the venue, we saw the room, and we were like, oh, this will be nice. And then the night of, when we got there and saw it, like, prepared, we were like, this wedding looks like it cost twice as much as we actually paid for it.
That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can relate. When we, my planning was a little different because we got married in Disney.
Yeah.
But the process leading up, still, we kind of went through our own shit, so to speak. Because, like, we had a long engagement. So Danielle had her cousin, and I want to say her grandma also, both got engaged and married after we got engaged, but before we got married. So kind of like leapfrogged us. But, like, her one cousin got a venue in Jersey that we were looking at, and kind of like a lot of the things we wanted. So Danielle, you know, you don't want to have the same wedding that you just attended. And we just kind of like didn't love anywhere in Jersey. I was a little I have a small family. So like when we were, and Danielle has a big family. So like when we were doing the list, I was like, all right, how can I comprise this where I have people there? Because I have a lot of friends. But I also have a lot of people that I grew up with that I necessarily didn't want there because sometimes they don't bring a good energy, and I don't need that shit on Danielle's day, and all kinds of, you know, different reasons. So like for me, a lot of it was, all right, we don't want to have something where like everyone can be here. I kind of almost was like, what's a good excuse to make this worth it to all of us? Because we're gonna spend decent chunk in New Jersey. You know, anyone if you're in New Jersey getting married, it's pretty expensive at times. Yeah. So we actually found out that for the price we were gonna have our Jersey wedding for, we can have about a 50-person wedding in Disney where they take care of the flowers, the photography, like they hook you up with everyone that you need. And Danielle's a huge Disney fan, and to me, I looked at her, I was like, I want you to have whatever you want on your wedding day. You know, when you're the guy getting married, like, it's great, but like, they think about it.
Yeah, how
forever.
involved were both of you in planning or taking the steps towards it?
I would,
because it's kind of cliche for the guy to be like hands off and.
No, not me. Like, I gave my input on things. I liked, you know, I helped pick what colors, flowers. Like, I gave my input, but at the end of the day, I always left it in Danielle's hands because if she felt strongly about something, who was I to take it away from her on her wedding day?
I wanted to be more hands off. I wanted the cliche, like I literally could have been fine showing up, but I was forced to ask my opinion multiple times. But as Justin just said, the same thing for me. Ultimately, I would leave it up to Ashley. Like, I think she even picked the color of, like, the tux.
Yeah. See, like, I picked, like, I wanted charcoal, but, like, Danielle and I also are, like, always on the same page. So, like, I didn't have to do much. We kind of agreed. Like, she would say, hey, do you like this or that? that was usually where my input came in.
Okay.
That was kind of it. But yeah, they did a lot like for us. Like I didn't have to go down there and talk to a florist. I didn't have to go down there and do anything really. They sent us pictures. We had a couple consultations over the phone. Yeah, like did like a video chat so they can show us some things, and then like that was it. We showed up.
Nice. All right. Well, it's pretty, cliche, and we've already referenced it, I think, a couple times before. But what did you guys do for your bachelor party? We've kind of touched on what Justin did before.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Have we ever talked about anything?
Yeah, mine wasn't that big. So I love my boys to death, but they're procrastinators.
Maybe that's why me and you get along.
I'm a procrastinator too, but to a point.
No, I get it, man.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
So I kind of had to ask, hey guys, what are we doing
Oh.
for the bachelor party? It wasn't like it was being planned. Like I had to ask about it.
That sucks.
Which I understand. Like
No,
Keith,
that sucks.
Keith was in the middle of like doing the police academy.
I get it, but also, so like, this is actually really interesting. Angelo is like I don't even like calling him a friend because he's family. Like, we grew up like cousins. And he actually was in the academy same time I was getting married.
Okay.
And so when I brought it up to him, I actually said, like, yo, if you have to say no, like, I understand. And he said no. Like, so, like, that's where, just my perspective on it. Like, I actually felt grateful that he said no because I didn't have to deal with someone.
Yeah.
Like, because you're right in that it makes sense why he couldn't.
Yeah.
But it's just the situation kind of unfortunate.
So I kind of gave my ideas for what I thought we could do, and it was fun. It was fun. We got to see Guardians of the Galaxy when it came out that weekend, like at IMAX and AC, which was cool. And then I tried to invite more people because they didn't really reach out to anybody. So then I started reaching out to people like kind of last minute, like 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
But no one could really make it. The only the only person that could make it was Mick Drake. He was the only person who came besides my immediate groomsmen and
I'm trying to think. I know I went to the wedding, but I don't even remember if I knew about the bachelor party.
you did.
Do you remember why I couldn't go? That's interesting to me. I feel like
I don't know if we were as close as we are now.
Maybe
at the
that's
time,
just what it was.
But yeah, I asked Dave. I think I brought up
because Mick went.
that was why Brian didn't go. So that would make sense why you didn't go for the same reason.
Yeah, I love Mick, but I really don't. I don't want to party with Mick.
He's a lot of fun to actually party with. I've partied with him a couple times.
You think I'd enjoy him?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, then you know what, Mick? You take me out in New York City, and I'll decide.
I've been with him too when he's gotten like stupid. It's great.
All right. So let's throw this out there, Mick. I know you listen to this because you are not only about yourself, and when you listen to this, you can take me and Adam, and I guess Pat can drive us maybe around. No, you know what? Pat won't come. It'll be us three. We'll go out. I'll decide if I enjoy it. You can tell me if you like me. I don't really care. I know you don't either, and it'll be a blast.
So day one was really cool, and then day two is when Mick showed up. But it was like really weird day two because we had fun, but Keith ended up like getting real tired and like I think fell asleep at like the bar somewhere and like disappeared for a while at one point. And then Mick lost his like car keys, so we had to. His parents lived in Galloway, so Ramon and I had to drive him back to his parents' house, then bring him back so he can get a spare, and then bring him back to his car. So like,
yeah, you're right. I don't want to party with Mick.
it was like, it was like very good, but it was just, it wasn't like my, it wasn't the
Ideal.
Yeah, it wasn't like the movies, but I had fun. I did have fun. Justin, what do we do for yours again?
So for mine, we invite, Brian was my best man. Like I said, Angelo wasn't able, and my brother didn't go to my wedding, nor did my dad. They just both weren't, they didn't. So Brian was my best man. Brian got everyone together. A couple of my friends from high school, a couple of my friends from Jamesburg, which mostly weren't invited. They kind of just showed up. One of them was because he's like my close friend Doug. The rest just tagged along and got kicked out of the bar the first night.
I remember this. We go to Hooters.
Yeah, we got there. We went to Hooters. We spent the day. We went to AC, went to Hooters, got pretty drunk there myself. They have a video of me putting on the tank top, right?
Yes.
Someone does. And then we went out to the bars that night, and we got.
I have to tweet that out now.
I don't give a shit. And we got like really fucked up that night. That was the night that Adam comes to, next morning comes to my house and crashes before the night show, right?
That's right. And then we go back out?
Well, we have a night show. So, like, all of my friends that came down from high school and shit, like, they were at the show. So that was cool. And then I beat the shit out of Eddie and Andy, which was, like, I think Brian's gift to me. And then we went back out that night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's when we
Go back to AC.
Dude, Brian and I do a tag match, right?
I don't know what else was on that card. I believe you guys worked Nikos and Delroy. It's the first, like, night show of that year. And
No, we did that the Ring of Honor camp weekend. We might have worked like High Society or something.
It was an October show. I know that was the first one. I worked Eddie and Andy in a triple threat in the main.
Wait, you're...
Because I remember specifically doing a waterfall spot and Andy running into a clothesline.
Then we do work High Society then, because that's the time we do the spot where I jump on the ropes and then Brian dives through my legs.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so we did that show, which was awesome, and then went back to AC and continued from the night before. Yeah, so it's just a big, long continuation of one big party with a wrestling show in the middle, which is kind of like exactly what I wanted.
I have a funny story from that.
Oh.
Yeah. We went to one of the new bars that opened up in the Tropicana.
Okay.
And this was like later on in the night, so we're all pretty fucked up. And Brian started like falling asleep at the bar, so they kick him out. And I go with him. And he just like does this Brian thing where he's just like shit talking. And then he goes back in and I follow him in. And we go undetected for like a good 20 minutes before like another bouncer sees him again and kicks us back out.
Yeah, that night I went like to a couple different strip clubs because everyone was pulling me each way, and
I don't think I went with you that night.
No, I went with a couple of my buddies from high school. We went to like a titty bar at first, which like when you're in AC and there's strip clubs everywhere else, a titty bar kind of like boring.
Yeah.
But then we ended up going to.
Can you explain the difference for our listeners? Because I'm not sure I know the difference.
So a lot of places where they'll do like full service bars, they only do topless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where if they serve just beer, they can do full nude.
Okay. See, I never knew that.
Yeah, so like actually at Stilettos, when you walk in the front door on the right side, you can go into the strip club and get beers, and then if you go to the left side, you have to leave the strip club, and there's like a dance club technically where the girls are topless, and you can get drinks in there. But if you're like cool bouncer night, you can go into the bar, get a drink, bring it into the strip club.
Right.
But they can't sell them in the same place.
Yeah.
So like that's the difference.
Weird rule.
But we went, yeah, like all of a sudden if you mix whiskey and a cooter, the law is going to get broken.
I'm sure there's some protection of the ladies kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I feel like in that setting, that's not the main priority.
If I drink a bunch of beers, I don't know if it's any different than having a couple
shots of whiskey. That's fair.
I'm not a liquor drinker at all, so I don't care.
Either.
Like, I'm going to drink beer regardless, so I'm kind of, it doesn't affect me, but I don't always get it either. But also, like, the people who are sometimes sober in there are the fucking worst, so I mean, it really doesn't matter. We did that. I went out that night, and this night also, my brother got real cool with like Calvin and Dave. My brother fell in love with Calvin and Dave. They're like, yeah.
I got cool with your brother that weekend too.
Yeah, my brother gets along with it.
I drove you guys down the first night.
That's right. Yeah. He gets along with it. He's kind of like me, a little bit more hot. He's even like quicker trigger on the hot headedness, but
does Eddie wear the leopard print jacket that weekend?
If we asked
God,
him,
I hope so.
Did. He's worn it a couple weekends, so like probably.
Yeah.
I know he wore it on his birthday once, and I have a picture of Eddie asleep with his pants off, like underneath the sink in the AC.
That's great.
Hotel room, yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys about the day before your wedding. I kind of want to get a feel for how you were feeling going into it.
Okay.
I worked. I was at work, and then
you worked the day before your wedding?
Yeah, because we got married in Jersey, so.
And it was a Friday wedding too, so like a Thursday you would work. It wasn't like it was a Saturday wedding where you take
I had a Friday
off.
wedding. Yeah, let me preface with that. I had a Friday wedding, so I just worked Thursday, then left to go to rehearsal. The reason why I did that was because I was going on my honeymoon like right after the
That's
wedding.
a good point. Yeah, I gotta say.
So why waste the PTO?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, for me, I got to. So I'll tell you the 2 days before my wedding. We got to Disney on I guess Wednesday. If we got married on a Friday. I don't remember if we got married on a Friday or Saturday morning, to be completely honest. I know the date.
I think it was Friday morning.
I think so too. But when you're on vacation like that in another state, you don't really think of what date it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Friday morning though.
I think so too. And we got there so we got there 2 days before.
Yeah.
And when Brian and Adam and everyone else landed, who else was with you guys? Stacy and Ashley were there.
Yeah.
Who else was there?
I only the four of us traveled exclusively together and got a room exclusively together.
And then Dave, Calvin,
Dave's girlfriend Devin,
and
Eddie. I think all
Eddie.
traveled
That's
together.
right. That's right. That was the rest of the rest.
Actually,
of the
I think Devin and Dave drove down. I believe
Calvin and Eddie flew.
Calvin and Eddie flew together
Because Eddie didn't buy a flight until like 3 weeks before, and I was like, "Yo, Calvin, is anyone taking Eddie? Like, is anyone going with Eddie?" And he's like, "I don't know. Let me call him." And Eddie just didn't buy a ticket, so Calvin got him a ticket when Calvin did. I think that's what happened.
I have a cool little interjection here.
Yeah.
So Ashley got free tickets to Hershey Park, or she got some kind of discounted tickets from her parents, and we invited Brian and Stacy to go with us. Kind of not as a trial run, but just to like get acclimated all together as like a group, because we knew we were going to be spending so much time together. It was actually kind of cool. Like that's how Ashley and Stacey kind of became cool,
Especially before you travel.
Yeah, before we travel. So even though like Brian and I know each other super well, but like Ashley and Stacey didn't know each other super well. So to get acclimated, we all like went on that like little trip together, and did that like day trip before we, and obviously we all meshed well, and then we traveled and stayed in the same room together.
Yeah, and then so the 2 nights before when I got there, we drank that night. Like me, you, Brian. Like we got.
I believe we
messed
went
up.
Beers.
Yeah, we got a bunch of beer, and then like as I was
fucked
leaving
up that whole week.
Yeah, well, as I was leaving their room at like 1, because like then Dave, Calvin, and Eddie got there, so they came over and we were all drinking in Adam and Brian's room. And then when I left their room, my buddies Kevin, Ted, Bear, and Dooley from high school all were checking in, and since it was a room block, they were only 2 or 3 rooms down from Brian. So like as they were checking in, and Maria, who is the girl that introduced Danielle and I, she also traveled with them, which was awesome. But I literally like just went right into their room at 2 a.m. and kept drinking. And then I finally got an Uber at like 5 or something to go back to my resort, because they were at a different resort than I was in Disney. So like it was like, I don't know, like 5-minute ride, and I couldn't find the way out, so I had to make Eddie Hawkins wake up at 5 a.m. to walk with me so I can make him. I was like, Eddie, if you're with me, we'll figure it out together. He like empowers me. So we went and got me back, and then I slept, woke up, did the whole like rehearsal situation, which I have its own story about. I had to like talk to my in-laws about the change in the reservation and a whole bunch, and then we went out that night again. We went to Downtown Disney and went to House of Blues, and everyone came out. Like all my friends were there. Then George, Tommy, my roommates were there. Davey.
I think during the day I went to Epcot with Ashley and Stacy.
That's cool. And that was another cool thing about Disney is like I'm so happy that everyone could kind of get away. Like I feel like when people think of my wedding, they associate like a good time and a vacation.
Oh yeah,
like,
we did just like. Well, I'll pick and choose like during your timeline because there was stuff going on when there wasn't stuff going on,
and everyone was able to like do things even if we were having the wedding process. So like that was another added benefit of the destination.
Yeah, I had a full-blown vacation.
So like the 2 days before my wedding, I was drinking until probably 2 a.m. each night, and then I woke up at 4:30 a.m. my wedding day, like on like I don't know 2-3 hours of sleep, and Danielle had to go with my mom. They left my room Danielle stayed at her dad's hotel room that night and mom's because no, you're good. Because I you don't want to see the bride on the day of. So when I woke up at 4:30, I woke my mom up. I wrote Danielle a little like morning letter and had my mom take it over at 5 because I wanted to make sure she got it before she did her makeup if possible. And then that was it. So like that was my nights before.
Lady Killer Justin leaving notes.
I'm a big note leaver.
On the day of your wedding, how are you feeling? Was the nerves finally hitting you guys? Were you nervous at all?
Nerves don't hit me until like right before I walk through the curtain. There was a door, but
the concept's still there, right?
The concept's there.
I was nervous. Especially, you know what I was most nervous about to transition from the note. I know I'm a note writer, and I'm really like I like to think I'm pretty good with words, especially in a romantic sense with Danielle. And I felt a lot of pressure there. I was like, damn, this has to be like the best note I ever wrote. This is like the morning of the wedding, and like I've wrote a lot of good notes, so like this is gonna be tough. But I think I did it. I got her. That was what made me most nervous. And then I just started getting anxious because, like, I had a 10 o'clock wedding, but my pictures started at, like, 8. So, like, there was a 2-hour window where I was just, like, waiting for Danielle to finish her pictures and all that stuff and then standing out there. Yeah, so that part made me a little anxious. But, nah, I wasn't as nervous as I thought I'd be, honestly.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
I didn't have a note, but I went to Taco Bell during the day, and one of the hot sauce packets said "Marry Me," so I texted Ashley a picture of the hot sauce
that's
packet.
cool.
Oh, that's also adorable,
That's cute.
though.
It's cute in its own way. That's great. Yeah. That's, like,
love
really cool. We, there's a lot of little, like, nuggets from the wedding, too.
The night before, the boys did take me out drinking. Like, it wasn't anything crazy because it was a Thursday. One funny thing that happened was we went to Adelphia's because it was senior night, and everyone thought that meant, like, college seniors.
No.
Nope. It was fucking 65.
I'm an older baby.
Chilling.
Awesome.
So then we went to some other, like, dive bar somewhere. But, like, so we didn't have a wild night, but it was cool because we just drank the night before and hung out.
Way funny if you just stayed at the senior night. The 65
And then what
and
was really funny was Keith had to still do the academy the day of the wedding. So he went out with us the night before, and then he, like, left in the morning to go to the academy, and then was going to meet us at the venue.
And that's crazy.
Hey, props to him though. I want to know what your first reaction was when you got to see your wives for the first time on the wedding day.
So, since we're going chronologically, I'd like to just back up, like, an hour.
Go
maybe.
for it.
During my pictures, it was me. Tommy was one of my groomsmen who lived with me. He's, like, one of my best friends. And one of Danielle's best friends. The three of us were always together when we lived together. Brian was my best man, and then Adam and George were also there to help out with, like, my mom getting down the aisle and anything else I really needed. They were there. They were kind of like my groomsmen that didn't stand up there with me.
Yeah.
So when we're doing the pictures, I do the pictures with my father-in-law, I do it with my mom, and then the guy's like, all right, I want pictures with all the immediate family. And so I just went, all right, all you guys get in the picture. And he was like, no, immediate family. And it was the only time I got stern on my wedding night, but I went, they're my family. If I tell you I don't have family, you're going to move on to them anyway, right? And the guy's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, then that's it. Let's go. And we took pictures. There was one, I don't remember why, but I know we were laughing our asses off. And you remember that? Like, Brian, like, Brian sat down and everyone else was standing. So Brian looked like the groom in the picture. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. And we're just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Yeah, so, like, that happened right before. But while I was standing down there, like I said, I was sweating my ass off. It was an outdoor wedding. It was only like 60-something, 70-something degrees, but the sun was out. It was 10 a.m. I'm in a suit. My hair was still long, so, like, I was hot. But when Danielle walked down, there's a picture of me. It's like me taking a huge deep breath and, like, just smiling, like, you know, like, oh, this is real.
I had the privilege of helping Justin with his tie that morning.
Yes, that's right. Adam hooked me up because Brian was helping somebody else with their tux. Maybe Tommy.
Yeah, I think so. Or it was George.
Adam hooked me up. Adam was taking care of my tux for me. Like I said, everyone was great. Brian, and I think it was Brian specifically, ordered a 6-pack of coffees and a dozen McMuffins or something like that.
Yeah.
From McDonald's. Like, that's how he
Clutch.
ordered it. A 6-pack of coffee and a dozen egg McMuffins or whatever. And then we left them for the girls in the limo, too. So they could eat, but they just thought it was garbage. So they, like, didn't eat.
Man, that really was. I drank so much. Because I'm thinking now, like, so then I went to Epcot where they were doing, I think, food and wine, maybe. And then.
Did you drink around the world at Epcot?
Not as much because I kind of let the girls do whatever they wanted, and I just tagged along. So it wasn't like we didn't make Stacy third wheel at all. Like, I was the third wheel, but I'm okay with that. Like, I don't do shit.
Oh.
But then we went to House of Blues the night before, and then, like, I just day drink at Justin's wedding, and then we go back out that night to drink.
That was the other thing about having a 10 o'clock wedding. The reception was at like 11, I think. So, like, we were just pounding drinks from like 11 to 2.
Yeah.
And then it's 2 o'clock and you're in Disney, guys, already drunk on our dime. You're welcome.
Given the gift
Then
that
it was
keeps
Nap,
on
and
giving.
then we went to Jelly Rolls in that other dance place, and you and Danielle came with us.
Yeah,
Your wedding night, yeah.
that's right.
Oh, we're skipping ahead.
Yeah, let's go back.
Because I still want to know, Adam, what was your like first reaction? You admitted that you were already nervous when you finally were hitting that
Yeah,
spot.
I was nervous when I was about to go out the curtain. Pastor tells me, oh, can't. Last chance. Run away now. Like, right before we go out, I'm like, this guy.
What a card.
No, he's actually a really good guy. He's the pastor of our church that we go to right now. So he was clearly messing with me, but it was just funny that he decided right then and there to put that bug in my ear.
I would have loved if you were just like, all right, man, where's the car? And just like blame Ashley or tell Ashley you're blaming him. Just be like, yo, he gave me he said I could go.
He gave me the eggy, man. So I went out the back door. My first reaction was I was probably stunned. I didn't cry. But I was stunned for sure.
Yeah, I didn't cry either, and I thought I would, but I didn't.
Yeah, I can't picture either of you crying. Not that you obviously didn't enjoy it or.
You hear that,
weren't
everyone? We're
emotional about
manly
it.
men.
That's
Men in tights.
if I'm crying, I'm probably laughing.
So after the wedding, the reception. Is there any crazy stories from either of your receptions?
Obviously.
Yes, I know.
I'm gonna comment on Adam's because I was at Adam's wedding as well. We had a wrestling like a table of just wrestlers.
Oh, let me like put in input on that real quick. So
Yeah.
we had the reverse problem that you had.
Too many people?
With, no, with like with the guests.
Okay.
So I have a lot of family, and Ashley doesn't. have
Oh,
so much
okay. So
family.
same situation.
So
as
we
Flo
had to
first
like
got you.
figure out a way to fit in more of her people and like friends and stuff. Whereas, I don't care. I wish I could have cut back on family members invited, but it's just one of those things where like you're trying to please like other immediate family members.
Well, that's the thing about like when. So this is something Danielle and I thought of is like when you invite one like, let's call it a cousin, you have to now like kind of either deal with explaining to all of them why, or invite all of them.
Yeah.
And so like I felt that way even with certain friends. Like I have certain friends where I maybe like them more than like a sibling that I'm technically also friends with, and it's like I can't invite you if I then invite them. Then if I invite both of you, I got to invite both of these brothers, and it was just too much.
Yeah. And it was like to the point where so Ashley had family, but then we had to like to make sure she had enough people. It was like friends from Virginia. Then it was like friends from work that she might not have even been that tight with. You know what I mean? So I didn't get to invite a ton of friends because we're in so much family. Like I wish I could have invited more just like casual friends instead of as many families there. It even got to the point where my mom was trying to get her best friend to go, and we just said no. Then there was one distant cousin who's like at all our family parties, but we're not close to her at all. And she, to this day, is still super salty that we didn't invite her. She asked me at one of the family get-togethers, am I going to be invited to the wedding? And I just had to no-sell her. We're just like, we're still working on the list. And I was like, no, like, you're not going.
See, I even have like I have a friend a person I grew up with that he doesn't understand why he wasn't invited to the wedding, but in a previous incident with him and I and you guys will understand this because you know how I am. He was talking to other people about something he had a problem with me and Danielle doing, and so I grabbed him, put him in the car, bought him lunch, and said, "Do you have a problem?" And he said no. And then I heard he still had a problem from other people. So you don't got the balls to talk to me, I don't have to talk to you. So if you listen to this, that's why you can address me. You have my number, text me. Don't talk to other people.
Yeah, no, that's very on brand for Justin Busser.
So the friends that I did invite, I just made the executive decision that they were just going to be the closest people at the time that I knew in wrestling. Like in retrospect, the only person I probably would have added to that table, besides maybe like Eddie or something like that, was Bazooka Joe. For sure, I would have added to that table.
You guys grew a lot closer after your wedding, probably.
Yeah,
too,
that's what happened.
Because he likes Ashley too. Like he points out all
Yeah.
the time that Ashley's cool.
Yeah.
Because him and I get a lot closer after I get married.
Me and you are probably starting to get close then.
We're starting to get close. I remember I really, really liked you.
Thanks,
a lot.
man.
And that's why you got invited.
And me and Danielle both were there. We had a blast.
Yeah, because the wrestling table, it was that you guys all at plus ones, but otherwise it was actually just the core guys that I was closest with. It was Brian, Mick, you, and Craig.
Yeah, that was it. And everyone's significant others. I actually drove to the wedding with Craig and his wife, and that was the first time I hung out with her. And I got along with her very well. She jives with me and Danielle.
Now, here's the weird thing. No heat. None of the wrestlers showed up to the ceremony.
Yeah, no, that's true because I was waiting to get. I had work, and like so by the time I
Dave
got
was there. Dave was the only person who showed up to the ceremony.
Was Dave with Devin at that time?
No.
Oh wow, I remember that. I remember driving in that direction and realizing it was about 5:20 and I was like still not that close, and I was like, I think I texted Craig. No, I drove Craig home. I don't know if he was with me, but I texted somebody and was like, I'm not gonna make it. I didn't want to walk in the middle of it. I get embarrassed like that. I don't do that at movies either. If I'm late, I don't go in.
Oh, okay.
I don't like. I'm like weird. Yeah. If
That's strange. I get the wedding one. The movie one.
The wedding kind of ran late too, so you might have made it.
Oh man, like I had I known, I would have gone. But I don't even do that with movies. Like if I'm like 10 minutes late to a movie, I won't walk in. I just won't go. I'll buy a different ticket.
That's strange to me, because especially when like the first like 15 minutes could be taken up by previews anyway.
Well, I mean, I'm accounting for the fact that like the movie probably started. Like,
okay,
yes.
right.
If I'm like because that means you're pulling into the lot at the time of the movie, so like you're there.
Yeah.
But no, if like the movie starts at 6:30 and I'm pulling into that lot at like 6:40, 6:45, I'll buy a different ticket. I'm not doing it. Right. Yeah, it's I don't know
Interesting
why.
Justin Butler fact of the day.
Yeah, it's one of those things. At Adam's wedding, though, I had a blast. I remember specifically one thing that stands out to me very strongly is that they had to take pictures like pretty quick, like during the wedding cake cutting.
Yeah.
And I remember I could tell Adam was at a point of being a little stressed. You could see he was running around a little bit. He wanted to make sure everything was moving right for Ashley.
Yeah. Ashley wanted to get all these pictures taken, and then they were kind of... Something happened where stuff just wasn't getting done. And then all of a sudden the photographers were like, oh, our time's like running out. We gotta go. And we were like, shit, we didn't even get pictures of you guys cutting the cake. So we had to like pull the trigger out of nowhere.
And I remember this happening, and it was kind of... You could tell the energy in the room was getting more tense, and I remember Brian specifically, who was pretty fucked up at this point, standing up and saying, Adam, if you don't smash that cake in her fucking face. And Adam power walked over to the table and was like, bro, not now. And he's like, what? Smash that fucking cake. I don't care what she says. And Adam's like, no, bro, like, this isn't the time. Like, I just don't have... And, like, he was trying to explain it without going through the process of explaining because he didn't have time to explain it.
Yeah.
And I was just, like, sitting there like, man, like, who gives a shit about if he smashed it?
I got mad respect from, like, another family member for that. Like, Drew's brother-in-law. They don't care to me. He's like, hey, man, I thought that was really cool. You stood up to your friend.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Brian just wouldn't give it up. Like, I get even saying it once and kind of getting the laugh and letting it ring, but like, he didn't stop.
Brian had a great night though. He led a lot of the group dances on the dance floor. He caught the garter, and my one sister caught the bouquet, and then he like let his hair out to like put the garter on her.
I remember that. That was fun.
Yeah.
The food was very good. I do recall that as well. Me and Craig were talking about that.
It's banging.
I sat by them.
I didn't realize there was a dessert table of all things. You don't get that at weddings, first of all, dessert tables.
Nah.
They told me there was a full-blown dessert table. I didn't get to do any of it because I was too busy with, like, catching up with these stupid-ass pictures. They're not stupid.
I did get to have the dessert table, and it was
like
fantastic.
An Oreo cake, man.
Yeah. I'm a big Oreo mark.
I know that's the cookie you referenced last week.
Well, yeah, in the pork roll Taylor ham debate.
We did do the groom's cake thing, so that was part of the package. So Ashley got them to make a groom's cake that was literally the front plate of the WWE title belt.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
They played Real American over the speakers or whatever when it was presented to me.
That's wicked.
Cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
I remember that from Adam's. From mine, I mean, I'm sure, again, Adam might have some stories. Mickey and Minnie came to my wedding.
Yeah, that was
a big pop for everyone.
Eddie and your buddy had a dance-off. That was everything.
My friend Kevin bought a captain's hat from Calvin at a show during the bachelor party weekend.
Yeah.
And he brought it to the wedding. And it became a prop in a dance battle between him and Eddie. And, like, when I tell you that Kevin is my first Eddie, I mean it. Like, spot on. Like, I played baseball with Kevin, and that was
dance battle
baseball version of Eddie.
Encapsulated the spirit of that whole weekend.
When you look at pictures, because I have pictures of the dance battle specifically from the photographer, every single person in the background is just laughing, like genuine belly laughter. And that's kind of how my wedding felt. Like everyone, I mean, the food at my wedding was also really good.
It was dope because it was breakfast food.
It was like bacon omelets and it was
Mickey
perfect.
pancakes. My gosh.
Yeah, waffles and shit.
Can't speak highly enough about Justin's wedding either.
I did smash that fucking cake in her face. But Danielle put it like up my nose, man, and it was red velvet. So like I don't. It was like blowing cake out of my nose all night. But I mean, Brian gave a really nice best man speech.
Oh, that was very good. Best man.
No
speech.
one has a video of it, but it was nice.
No one has a video of it, man.
No,
shame.
I feel like everyone almost teared up, especially when he like tags her in. Man, that was a beautiful.
Yeah,
thing.
it was all nice about him talking about how the tag team is a partnership. He tags Danielle in and all these nice little things. I called him, well, he'll tell everyone I called him a pussy during it. What happened was he looked at me and he said, "There's nobody I respect more than you." And he started crying. And I got up and gave him a hug. And in his ear, I whispered, "If you cry, you know you're going to look like a pussy in front of all my friends and family." And then he said...
I already knew this, but like now, like in retrospect, thinking on it, like how you gonna fuck with someone's emotions like that?
I mean, it's on brand for me, no? You got to crack the laughter at that time.
that's
And he turned
so
around and
funny.
on the microphone was like, "If I told you what he said right now, you guys wouldn't even know why I'm his best man," or something like that.
Oh, he came back. He was like, "Oh, you told me I was a pussy."
Yeah, oh man, but that was... But no, it was a beautiful speech, and the only thing I had to tell the DJ, we were sitting back there before we started the wedding, and the DJ goes, "So, all right, do you guys want me to play anything specific?" Or he started asking a bunch of questions, and I was like, "Man, you're the professional, like, do what you're gonna do. I trust you." And he's like, "Do you want me to force people to dance?" I was like, no, don't force anybody to do anything they don't want to do, but other than that, play your music the way you want to play it, man." And he was really cool. He's like, "All right, so this is what we're going through." And the only thing I had to change, he was like, "We have the best man speech and then the maid of honor." I guess that's how they normally do it. And I was like,
Ooh,
"You better flip those." I was like, because if he goes first, she's not going to be able to follow.
Is that normally they do it? Because every wedding I've been to, I've been a best man twice at weddings, and I always went after the maid of honor.
No, I when I was the best man at Angelo's wedding, I went first. And I mean, there was a lot of speeches, but I went
Keith
before
went
the maid of
after
honor.
the maid of honor at mine too, so I don't know.
I gave mine on the fly at Angelo's. It was 5
That's
minutes, and
pretty
I was wasted. But
That's pretty dope.
I can't write speeches like that.
If
I'm a
Keith
talker.
ever gets married,
No,
which
I gave mine on the fly for my brother's wedding, but I did prepare the one for my friend Frank's wedding. I took some time to actually get that one in place.
see, I've never been a best man, but if Keith ever gets married, I would think that I'd be the first choice, but he might choose his brothers. But I think my speech might be pretty dope.
Yeah, Angelo's was easy because I grew up with him. Doug actually just got engaged, but he has a cousin and a couple other. I don't know what he's gonna pick, and I hate putting that pressure on people. I don't, like, man, you don't have to. I hate that you have to pick one person that's labeled your best man. Like that's, But
The more we like talk during this whole thing, I know it's about weddings, but I'm just realizing, like, man, I don't have a lot of friends.
well, you know what though? Like I think I've gotten especially as I've gotten older, I just try to keep good friends around.
Yeah.
Like I don't need a lot, man. Like I just want people who actually like give a shit. That's it.
Yeah, I have a lot of acquaintances, but there's very few. There's only a good handful of people.
Yeah,
I
like
call
I
friends.
have, I guess, a good amount of friends, but I don't have a lot of tight friends.
Well, I
or
think-
anymore. Like the friends that I had that were tight, like we're just no longer tight.
I think as you get older and you start to realize, especially people like us who like maybe went through a little bit of a tumultuous upbringing, you start to set boundaries as you get older. And I think when you set boundaries, people start falling outside of your friendship circle.
Yeah.
And the more, the tighter you make your boundaries, the smaller that circle gets. And I think for me, at least personally, like that's what happened with a lot of people I grew up with. Like, a lot of disrespect towards a lot of my choices. And like once I realized my choices worked out, I don't need you. Like these boundaries are set for a reason. So I mean, yeah, it does happen. I think as you get older, but if you had more friends, I feel like you'd have less quality friends and less boundaries. Like,
But shout out to Mick Drake for being the only person outside of my immediate circle to come to my bachelor party.
and shout out to Mick Drake to remember to take me and Adam out so I can decide if I want to hang out with you or not.
Yeah, do that.
The honeymoon afterwards. I'm assuming Justin for you was just staying at Disney.
I did do one other thing. So we stayed at Disney, but we were there during Thanksgiving, so that was kind of cool.
It's very cool.
Because I enjoyed that. We went to dinner with Chip, Dale, and Goofy on Thanksgiving.
Oh.
But we did go. So
you
Danielle,
go?
what was that?
Where'd you go? The Garden Grill?
It was some buffet. I don't remember exactly where, to be completely honest. I don't remember a lot of these things because I was very messed up.
Oh,
from the
gotcha.
entire
Was it a
honeymoon.
buffet in Epcot?
It was not in Epcot. It was
okay.
in one of the like it might have been in like the Grand Florida. It was in one of the resorts. It
okay.
wasn't at like a park. But Danielle's a big her favorite animal in the world is a manatee. She's very she's big into it.
Yeah.
So I looked up while we were there like how far it would be because Danielle watches Total Bellas, And on Total Bellas, Daniel Bryan and Bree went swimming with manatees. And so we looked it up, and it was in Tampa, which was 2 hours from where we were. So I rented a car, and we drove there, and we did like a 6-hour private manatee tour and just swam. There was like one other French couple on the boat with us, and that was it. And for like 6 hours, you just swam with manatees. We had wild dolphins that were hunting like little fish, like swim past us like 40 miles an hour while we were in the water with them. It was wild, but it was like so much fucking fun. We did do that. We did go swim with manatees and like snorkel and shit underwater. But most of it was spent in Disney. Shout out Dave Davis and Devin. They went and did a run for us that got us, stuff that we can kind of like drink and be messed up on throughout the trip. And Devin didn't have to do that. Like, she wasn't invited to the wedding, but she's cool, man. She came down to hang, and we didn't have a seat for her at the table, but if we did, it would have been for her. Like, she was cool. She came and hung for the whole weekend.
That's cool. Oh, that's awesome.
What'd you guys do for your honeymoon, man?
We actually went to Disney. My uncle had like a timeshare at a spot outside of Disney, like not too far from it. So he pretty much, that was our wedding gift from him. So we got to stay there for free. It's kind of a cool little resort. Wasn't the best, but like, hey man, free.
Yeah.
We had a dope ass suite. Like, the room itself was awesome. There just wasn't a lot of
amenities.
Thank you. There wasn't a lot of amenities at the actual facility itself, but the room was superb. Yeah, so we did Disney because Ashley has connects down there from when she used to work down there. So I think we might have paid for like one of our trips down there, and then the other trip we got comps through somebody, and then we decided to take the trip to Universal because we were staying outside of Disney grounds. So
yeah.
we just took like a bus or Uber or whatever to Universal, so that was cool because I've never been. I've only been to Islands of Adventure, so I've never actually been to actual Universal.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun for us.
I was gonna say, you probably loved that, right? Cause
I did.
I've never been to Universal either, but
they had like the Transformers and like Harry Potter World, which I haven't seen before. That was new. I wasn't a big Harry Potter fan, but just like being in it was cool.
Yeah.
It was very well done. So yeah, we had a really good time. One day we just took like a day trip to like outlets down there. My dad gave us like a very generous wedding gift in like separate like Visa gift cards.
Yeah.
So most of everything we did down there was fairly taken care of and didn't really come out of our pocket. I think maybe we paid for like our flights.
That was something with us, is like, since we had a long engagement, we got so many Disney gift cards that when we were down there, like, we didn't spend money. That's why we were able to do the manatees. Because like we were like,
you had the extra.
Yeah, it wasn't even just the Visa gift cards. Now that you mention it, what we did was like right before we went down, we opened up like all of our cards from the wedding, and we told people too, like, don't feel bad giving us cash at all. And we just took all the cash, and then like I said, my dad's generous gift card present, and we just took it all with us to the honeymoon, and we said, let's just enjoy ourselves and then not worry about money.
Yeah, that's how we did ours too, and it was the best way possible.
No, that sounds awesome. I love the parallels though. You both proposed on the same date. You both have Disney as your honeymoon. You both do something else external.
Something else about weddings, because I thought about it earlier. Some of the most fun I ever had, me and Adam had a blast at Calvin's wedding.
Yes.
Yo, like, we had so much fun.
Ashley and I were just talking about the other day because we drove by the venue.
Yeah, Danielle and I brought it up yesterday when we knew we were going to be talking about weddings today. I was like, what other weddings have I been to?
Yeah.
I said Adam's, my own, her grandma's, which I almost got into a fight with the photographer, and then because he was being disrespectful, and then Calvin's. There's a good picture of me and Adam chugging beers from Calvin's.
It was hot, but we made the best of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was outside.
The spread was dope. It was like a 3-part spread. There was one section that was like Thanksgiving dinner themed. There was one section that was pasta themed, and then one section that was taco themed. And when I talked to Calvin about it, he was like, "Yeah, I just wanted to give everyone what my favorite food was." Foods were.
It was such a Calvin wedding.
It was such a Calvin. So like the dessert thing was like, even the dessert was like awesome, because instead of having a cake, they just had like a bunch of donuts and like take-home bags.
Yeah, it was. It was me, you, Ashley, Danielle, Jasmine that drove together. Right. Damaris went
there.
Dave,
Eddie,
and Devin. Was there one other person at our table? Well, let's pair them off. It was me and Danielle, you and Ashley.
Yeah.
Dave and Devin, Eddie and Damaris.
Jazz.
We had to have one other. Was Brian invited and didn't go? That's it. That's what it was. Brian was invited and didn't go.
There you go.
But yeah, it was a blast. I was outside partying with some like really old dudes while I was there.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
Yeah, like dude, it was a blast. Danielle was trying to like think hit on one of the like Calvin's cousins, like a girl, like she was hot.
Oh, I remember that too.
Yeah, we had a blast. Like it was a great wedding.
Was it another redhead?
Yes, it may have been. Yeah. And also, I think Jazz did the wobble on the floor and was like all over the place, but she was wasted.
Machine that night.
We had so much fun at Calvin's wedding. That was one of the ones that...
yeah, the picture of you and I just chugging beers probably is the perfect picture to...
That's the new Wrestling with Life picture. You got to replace that little logo. I'm gonna send you the picture of me and Adam from that wedding, and that's it.
All right.
And we'll Photoshop in your Patapalooza poster that I sent you earlier this week.
That was a great poster.
Pat tried picking on my graphic design skills, but he's just
I would never do that.
Pompous piece of shit.
Yeah. So pretentious.
There he goes again, pretentious.
So I was thinking you would sing the chorus to Hey Ya.
Yes.
Well, before we get there, I was going to ask, well, you already kind of touched on it with Calvin. I said, is there any other wedding stories you found fun from other weddings you've attended or been to? You've already mentioned kind of what your...
So, while Adam thinks, I'll give the other story that I was going to bring up about... So, when Danielle's grandmother got married remarried, I was there, and her oldest cousin is like in his 40s, and there's cousins... Their cousins are very close. They're a tight-knit family. And, I know most of them like me, but some of the cousins that are older especially, like, they just don't talk as much, so, you know, you don't know. Well, at this wedding, the photographer, he was drunk. Like, probably shouldn't have been a photographer. He was lit, but he kept trying to get our table to take a picture that, like, the oldest cousin, his name's George, he didn't want to take. He's like, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. We're eating. We're just doing our thing. Like, leave us alone, please. He said it a bunch. To the point that, like, he slid his chair out at some point and stood up to talk to the guy. Well, when I saw his chair slide, I stood up so fast, and I grabbed him and was like, I literally pulled him back and turned to him and said, your grandmother will be so mad at you if you get in a fight during her wedding, but everyone might already think I'm an asshole. And I turned right to the photographer and was just like, outside, now. And he went outside with me, and like people followed, and I was like, get out of here. He's fucking wait. Like, I was ready to throw down. And then when I came in, I found out all cousins loved me. So that was an important piece of my becoming, you know, me in front of them. But I don't think they ever saw that from me before, and haven't since, which is nice. But that's my only other real wedding story, other than how much fun I had at Calvin's and Adam's. But we talked about both.
Yeah.
No, I had a lot of like family weddings that I've been to. I'm not trying to like put a damper on the mood, but one memory that I always had from those weddings was Pop was there, and he was so much fun to hang out with at weddings, like so much fun. So that's like a memory for me. So like it kind of sucks because he didn't get to come to mine.
Yeah, man. That's sad. But I also will say, just I could see it in your eyes when you said it. You definitely carry that same energy when we go out. Like, you're fun.
Yeah.
So like,
thank you.
At least it's not gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But yeah, when I was like a kid into my teens, if there was like family wedding and he was there, oh man, he was so much fun to hang out with.
That's cool.
I mean, he was fun to hang out with in general, but at weddings, that was like the one thing I'd always remember. Is just like,
yeah, it's a whole nother level of like
it's a whole nother
happiness
level.
and fun. Yeah, celebration. What about you? Do you go to weddings?
Oh yeah, I've been to a handful at this point. My brother's wedding was super fun. It was super low key. It's the exact style of wedding you'd think he would have, because he's a very like low key kind of dude. Kept it small. It was like
what was small? Mine was, I think, 40.
Okay, so slightly larger than yours.
But I mean, I get it. Mine's a destination too.
Still under 100. But he had it at him and his wife had it at a nature reservation.
Okay.
Because that's very on brand for them.
Cool.
And the wedding itself, they put all the money into the reception. The wedding itself was a super basic, like maybe 20 people right outside of the courthouse underneath a tree.
That's nice, though.
Just him, his wife's sister, and me. That's it. That's the only people up on the front of it. That's it. Just like 10 minutes done. Cool, everyone, let's go to the reception. That's where we're going to
It makes sense. Crazy. That's what most people want, whether they'll admit it or not.
Yeah, the reception's where the fun is. But that was very enjoyable. It was a nice little getaway weekend. My sister's wedding was awesome. I was the videographer for her. They were trying to keep costs down, so
you didn't get to enjoy it?
No, I actually still really did enjoy it, honestly. Like, it was a little bit
You know what I
just
thought of? Have you ever seen Not Another Teen Movie?
Yeah.
You know the weird kid that carries the camera around with the bag following him? That's Matt.
God, it may have felt like that at the time. But that was super cool too. It's the first time I got a lot of exposure to her husband's family, Matt's family, and they were all super cool people, all very like.
You get along well with them.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
And then my friend Frank's wedding, that's one of my favorite weddings. I was his best man. I was one of two best men because he was very much like you. He's like, I hate having to label one person.
Did you both give speeches?
No.
That happened at Angelo's. He had two best men, and I recommended that Dale go before me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he he very much was like, it's your thing. And I was like, that's cool. And that was just a fun overall. Again, relatively small. I haven't really been to like a big wedding. My sister's wedding may have been the biggest one, and even then that was still maybe 100 people-ish.
What was the biggest wedding you ever been to, Adam? For me, it was Angelo's. He had about 200 plus.
That's a lot.
It was huge. It was one of those big North Jersey weddings. His wife's like that.
One of my cousin's weddings, probably, but I can't really think of it. One wedding, I'll comment real quick on another wedding story. One weekend, Ashley and I had a doubleheader in Virginia Beach. So it was two of her Virginia friends getting married. The one was her best friend, who was her maid of honor. That girl decided to not pick a maid of honor at all because she couldn't decide between her friends. Ashley was not happy about this.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big dramatic thing leading up to it, and even like there, like Ashley was just... So then we went to another person's wedding the next night. First of all, and also the place that the venue they had it at had no air conditioning, so it was just like a sauna there for The next night we went to an outdoor wedding, and this is in summer still, so it's very hot out. But I decided that I was gonna steal the Brian Johnson spot
And
just get fucked up and like tear up the dance floor.
Yeah.
And I did.
I was gonna say, because that can be applied to like a lot of different things.
Very
like the
true.
Lower to the dance, though.
Like, I was like, I don't know, did you just like fall asleep and leave? Or...
No. No. I took his energy with me down there, and to this day, I still get brought up when they remember their wedding. So, yeah.
The most recent wedding I went to was my friend Weiss from up in Boston. That was a lot of fun too.
Alex.
Well, we have multiple Alexes in our group of friends, so we refer a lot.
Well, I'm trying to remember. Alex in Boston, Mike in Texas.
Mike in Texas, yes. It was the first Jewish wedding I've ever been to, so it was a very cool cultural learning experience for me.
I have a funny story about. Keep going.
And then everyone got blasted at the reception, and then we went back to the hotel and started to try to get blasted in the lobby. Was politely asked to not do that. And then just went up to the room block and drank some more there. And then my friend Kobe's getting married towards the end of this year, so that's my next one on the docket.
Cool. I got at Angelo's wedding. So Angelo is his mom is half Jewish, so Angelo was raised half Jewish. So Angelo's he's not big like me, but he's big. They did the I forget what it's called when they lift you in the chair.
Yeah.
Yo, they couldn't lift him. So like the one side just like went down, and Angela's like, get me down, and then or the arm maybe came off. Something happened with the chair, and then he went up, and they did it a second time, and they finally got him. But like his wife weighs like 100 pounds, dripping wet, and they had all the big people holding her up. Like, what are you guys doing? So that happened. Yeah, my next I got DV's getting married soon, next January, so I'll be in his wedding. That'll be fun, and then. That's really it for me. I don't have too many coming. Doug got engaged, so like that'll happen eventually.
I also went to a Jewish wedding, but that wedding's probably in my top 5 for sure. So it's like Justin's is in there. This one, the reception was at Flying Fish.
Oh, all right.
But here's the kicker: go up to the bar, because I'm assuming when we're at a brewery that I have to pay for my own drinks. Like that's,
of course.
And I'm not mad about it. Like we're at a brewery. Like that's where you want to have your reception. This is pretty cool. So I go order my beer. It's all craft beer because we're at a brewery.
Yeah.
Hey, how much is it? Oh, it's on the wedding party.
Bar?
Holy shit, I got free craft beer all night.
That's cool, man.
And then, like, I had to pace myself because it was like 3 in, and you know how those things are. Like, they're a little bit stronger, and like I'm drinking pints.
They can hit
so
you.
I was like, let me slow down. But the groom got messed up. No, like,
I remember you telling me about this guy.
brother, it was not a good look. And he's such a good dude.
Oh.
This guy's such a good dude. Like, he doesn't do shit like this. Like, I know he doesn't. It just caught up because he didn't eat all day. Because the wedding day,
happens, yeah.
everything happens. So he had a few of those craft beers, which they drink beer all the time, those two. because he didn't have anything in his system.
And the nerves, I'm sure.
And the nerves and everything. Like, just...
Man.
He was out for like half that wedding, man. I felt so bad.
Me and Danielle left our wedding that night. You said everyone went out to the piano bar. What we did was I ordered a pizza, soup, and fries to our room, and we went to sleep by 8 o'clock.
I thought you went out to the piano bar with us.
No, we did not come out that night. We stayed watched the fireworks at the
Brother, you came out with us, man.
No, we came and met you guys the next morning when you guys were sitting by the pool and Calvin was eating soup in sweatpants. I was not.
Why did I
What a
think
look
you went
for
to
Calvin.
Jelly Rolls with us?
I don't know. I was not there. I've heard the stories. I showed up the next morning and heard all the stories, but
You didn't go to City Walk with us. I know that.
no, dude. I'm telling. So the night after the wedding, you guys all.
Are
went
you
back
sure, bro?
I'm gonna break them both down for you. You went back. You guys took a nap. Brian woke up like a dickhead and woke everyone up by running through their rooms. And I think he jumped on Calvin and Calvin got really mad about it.
Oh, Ashley got mad at him for something else too.
And then you guys all went out to the piano bar and all that. And me and Danielle went to, because we got a comp night at like the nicest resort in Disney for our wedding night. So we stayed there. We ordered food. We watched the fireworks because they shoot them off over the lake, like where the lake is on that resort. So we got to see them there. I sent you guys a Snapchat of that because we were right in front of them. And then we went to bed, and I woke up next morning. I got a massage at the spa at that resort because it was like super nice. And I showed up at the pool to you guys, and I remember telling everyone to feel my neck because I had that like huge knot I always have is gone, and I was visibly happier after that massage. When I went and got the massage, the guy who gave me the massage had just gotten fired from working at Full Sail, so he knew exactly how to take care of a wrestler's neck.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I was hype. And then we went to the pool, and everyone was sitting by the pool, and everyone was in their bathing suits except Calvin was in sweatpants, a t-shirt, and he was eating literally out of a can of soup.
Ashley was back at the room getting over the hangover.
Yeah, I did not go out that night with you guys. We went out the next night somewhere. We went out, and then we also cut that promo at the bowling alley the day before you left.
That was the day after that. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's
because
what
I know we go to City Walk that night, and I know you guys didn't come to that with us.
And I've never been to Jelly Rolls.
Oh, I thought you went with us.
Yeah, that just speaks to like how fucked up everyone was.
Yeah.
We're finding out like 3 years later that I wasn't there.
Still recounting stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you walk it all back.
Ashley and convinced Stacy to join her on the stage at Jelly Rolls, and they got pulled down. That was pretty funny.
That's fun. Didn't you request a song that they like wouldn't play? Wasn't that you or somebody?
I think so.
You like tried to tip them to play a song, and they're like, "Oh, we can't play that."
Yeah, that was like this bullshit.
Yeah. See, like I remember the stories because they were telling me the next morning by the pool while I was just staring at Calvin. Like, why? I remember asking like, "Why are you wearing?"
I think I wanted them to
sweatpants?"
like play a Drake song or something, and they wouldn't do it. And I was like, "You guys are assholes."
It might have been when Hotline Bling was like.
I probably was, and it probably was Hotline Bling, and that's bullshit. You can play Hotline Bling on the piano.
Yeah, so that happened.
I went to a piano bar in Philly where they did Candy Shop.
That's great. But yeah, Calvin was in just sweatpants eating soup, and I remember asking him like, "Why are you in sweatpants? You're in Florida, man." He's like, "I'm on vacation. I'm comfortable." Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
Can't argue with that.
no better reason than that.
All right, well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
No. Hey ya.
There's no
the chorus.
There's no chorus. It's just hey
So
ya
just
a million
sing it.
times.
Don't laugh and just sing it.
Yeah.
There's literally not a real chorus to that song.
Sure, there is. I'll find
It's
it.
just hey ya.
There you go. Keep going.
I don't. There's no
Why don't
music.
you
It's
just
just a
sing the
hey
first
ya.
verse? Why don't you sing the first verse then?
Yeah, just sing the first verse.
Come on, my baby don't mess around. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure.
Oh.
You can't do that.
That's
But
part of the song.
does she really want? But she can't stand to see me walk out the door. Don't try to fight the feeling, cause the thought alone is killing me right now. Thank God for mom and dad for sticking together like we don't know how. Hey,
There we go. Was that so bad?
Hey,
Thank you.
there you go. Giving the people what they want.
That's it.
I know that I'm so happy that Justin and I know the beats so well that we know when to turn up the drum.
Yes,
so-
I appreciate that too, helping me keep time. There you go.
You're
There's a callback. Justin always knows how to keep time.
There we go. All right.
Well, okay. Well, thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. There's part 2, another teaser for Patapalooza, which we'll hopefully have a better poster for.
No threats, Jim. No threats.
And you have been wrestling with life.
Wu-Tang.